I was born poor, dirt poor. My family scraped by in a small house with creaky floors and leaky roofs, where every penny was stretched and every meal felt like a blessing. Maybe that's why, when John and I finally made money, I treasured it the way a thirsty person treasures water. We worked hard, both of us, building something from nothing. John started a construction business, and I kept the books, raised the children, and pinched every dime so we could keep growing. It wasn't easy. There were nights when John came home covered in dust and sweat, too tired to eat. There were winters when we worried if the jobs would come, summers when the heat beat us down. But we never stopped. We were building for our future, for our children, for the life we dreamed about when we had nothing. And slowly, the dream became real. By the time I was in my 50s, we had more money than I ever thought possible. Not the kind of money where you forget who you are, but the kind that lets you breathe easier, sleep without worrying how to pay the bills. We invested, saved, and with time we bought the house. No, not a house, a mansion. It wasn't like the palaces you see in magazines, but to me, it was everything. A tall white home with pillars out front, wide porches and big windows that looked out over rolling hills. Inside were chandeliers that glittered at night, a staircase that curved like something out of a movie, and rooms so many that it took me weeks to get used to them all. I thought, this is it. We've made it. This house will hold our family together for generations. Oh, how wrong I was. At first it was wonderful. Holidays with the children and their spouses, grandbabies crawling on the polished floors, laughter echoing up the staircase. I loved cooking in that big kitchen, setting long tables full of food, watching everyone gather. I thought the house would bind us, make us stronger, make my children proud of where they came from. But the house didn't bring us together. It tore us apart. When John passed, the house suddenly felt too big. Every corner whispered his name, every room echoed with his absence. I thought my children would fill the void. I thought they would come more often, sit with me, keep me company. And for a time they did, but soon their visits came with questions. "Mama, do you really need a house this big by yourself? Mama, wouldn't it be easier to sell and downsize? Mama, you know the upkeep must be costing a fortune." I brushed it off, told them I was fine. Because I was. I had money saved, the bills were paid, and more importantly, this house wasn't just wood and stone, it was my life's work. It was John's legacy. But their questions grew sharper, their tones less gentle. One night, Sarah sat across from me at the dining table, her husband beside her. "Mama," she said, "you don't understand. You can't keep living here alone. It's not safe. It's not practical. You should let us handle things." Her husband slid papers across the table. I didn't even look. My heart froze just seeing them. "What's this?" I asked. "Just a transfer," he said, "so we can help manage the property, pay the taxes, handle the upkeep." "It'll make things easier on you," I pushed the papers back. "No." But Sarah pressed my hand, her eyes wet with tears. "Mama, please. Don't you trust me? Don't you want us to help you?" And that word, trust, broke me. Because I did trust her. She was my daughter, my flesh, my blood. I raised her to be honest, to be kind. I thought, surely she has my best interests at heart. So with trembling hands, I signed. That night I went to bed uneasy. Something in me whispered that I'd made a mistake, but I silenced it. I told myself I was just being stubborn, just afraid of letting go. Weeks passed. Then, one morning, I came down to the kitchen and found Sarah already there, with boxes. "What are you doing?" I asked. She wouldn't look at me. "Mama, it's time. We've decided to sell the house." The words hit me harder than any blow I'd ever felt. "Sell?" I whispered. "This is my home." Her husband stepped in. "No, it's our home now. The papers you signed gave us control. Mama, you'll be better off in a smaller place. We've already arranged an apartment for you." I stood frozen, staring at them, my chest aching, my breath caught. I wanted to scream, to fight, to tear those papers apart, But all I could do was whisper, "How could you?" Sarah's eyes filled with tears again, but this time they weren't for me. They were for her, for the guilt she couldn't hide. She hugged me, but it was a hollow embrace. "Mama, you'll understand one day. This is what's best." And just like that, the mansion was no longer mine. I watched strangers walk through its halls, pointing, admiring, judging. I watched as they offered money, signed contracts, claimed the rooms where I had laughed, cried, loved. When the sale was final, I packed my things, though most of it stayed behind. What could I take? The chandeliers? The staircase? The laughter? Number. Those belonged to the house, and the house was gone. The apartment Sarah put me in was small, 2 rooms, thin walls, a view of a parking lot. I sat there on my first night, surrounded by boxes, and I realized I had nothing left. No John, no mansion, no legacy, just me, alone. And worst of all, it wasn't strangers who did this to me. It wasn't thieves or conmen or outsiders. It was my own blood, the very children I gave everything for. Now, when I close my eyes at night, I see that house. The tall white pillars, the glittering chandeliers, John's proud smile as he first carried me across its threshold. I hear his voice whisper, "This house will hold our family together." But he was wrong. It didn't hold us together. It broke us apart. And now, the mansion is gone. The wealth is gone. And I am left here in this small apartment with nothing but the memory of the house I lost and the betrayal that took it from me.